So Andy Wertner says, you've mentioned that the rainbow is the perfect symbol of the LGBTQ plus movement because of its infinite multiplicity. But why, after the flood, does God choose this symbol to be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth? Is there some sort of inverted relationship between God's chosen symbol and pride's chosen symbol? Here's a bit of the passage for reference. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. The way to understand it is to really understand it as just the hierarchy and how it works. And so the best way to understand rainbow symbolism is with something that we call a circumzenithal arc or a sundog. The idea of a rainbow around the sun. Many of you have maybe seen that before, where you look up in the sky and you see the sun, then around the sun is a circle that's a rainbow. That's the best way to understand the rainbow. Is to understand it as the end of white light, right? That's like the place where white light breaks down and becomes multiplicity. But the thing about that is what a limit is. So you can understand the rainbow as a limit. You can understand the rainbow as a bridge also, because the limit and the bridge are related. They're that which is on the edge and connects to the outside. That's why St. Christopher used to be represented on bridges. That's why, I've said it before, the monsters are represented on the architectural transitions. And so the gargoyles are outside of the church, but sometimes the grotesques, the gargoyle-like creatures are also inside the church. And the way where they're represented is always in between architectural spaces. So when two architectural spaces will meet, the thing that's in between that will hold up the dome, let's say from the pillar, will often be a grotesque, because that is what the limit is, and that is what the transition is. All these things are related. The symbolism of the edge is complicated because it both includes the mixture, but also the limit. It includes the wall, but also, the chaos, and so it's quite multiple. And so, in that sense, that is what the rainbow does: is that it acts as a limit, as a promise. And so that's why it happens in the transition between the beginning and the end. It's like it's the end of a world, the end of the world of before Noah. Then the world is about to become again, and God puts a limit between that old world and this new world. And he says, here's a limit, here's a marker that shows you the transition between the end and the beginning. And so in some ways, it's the end of the old world, but it's also the beginning of the new world. And so he's like, we won't go back there where the water is. We're not going to destroy the world where that water is. And so because in order to show that, I'm going to mark it with a limit, which is this periphery, this monster, this bridge, this limit, all these types of symbolism that show the transition between two worlds. And so that's why that's what it is. But it's also, is an image of breakdown. It is an image of multiplicity. It is an image of variability, of fluidity. All of that stuff is there in the rainbow. And so it's a perfect symbol for the edge of our world, just like it was a perfect symbol for the edge of the ancient world, for the end of the ancient world. I hope that makes sense.